tips on how to step up your fantasy football game. Canada manages to lose money in a business a 14-year-old could run, and it turns out thoughts and prayers may actually be worth something. And boy, have the Russians come up with a kooky new way to keep you abstinent.
Hey, it's fantasy. Not a big fantasy, little fantasy. Hey, robot lady, sound the alarm!
Warning. The following podcast is another wasted hour. Warning. The following podcast is another wasted hour.
Don't waste my motherfucking time!
Football has started, but more importantly, fantasy football has started, which means right now you can do anything you want because that's what fantasies are all about. We'll talk more about that in a second, but more importantly, I need to let you know that the next hour of your life is going to be replaced with two ignorant, uninformed, ill-advised, self-deprecating morons ranting about opinions that they have no right to have, which are probably wrong and absolutely do not matter. Our goal here at Another Wasted Hour is to convince you that where we hail from, just outside Washington, D.C., is not just a city of politics and scandals, but one brimming with art, music, and culture and fantasies. As impossible as that may seem. So listeners, now that you know why you're here, live in studio, we're not sure how to pronounce it, but we have members of the one, the only, I think the only thing that comes back when you search for it in Google, Bo8. So Guido.
B-O-A-Y-T.
Yeah, but so Guido, say hello, Guido.
Hello.
And Casey, first time on the show.
Hi, everyone.
Welcome. So yeah, it's spelled B-O-A-Y-T. So it's like Bodie, but like at the end
Pronounce
you
it.
messed
I
up.
really like, yeah.
You typoed a little bit.
Went a little
Bodie.
McDexic.
Little Bodie. Little
Bo8 McBoatface.
Yes, Bo8 McBo8.
Yeah,
face.
our last show we said it. B-O-A-Y-T pronounced as Benny.
It's Benny. Okay, yeah, we could do a bunch of them, right?
That's my little boy's name.
Oh, Bo-ate. I think.
I like that.
Yeah,
You keep going back to the
No, I
Bo-ate.
really,
think you're on
I
something.
honestly
Bo-ate.
really like your interpretation.
Yeah,
there.
no, I think we should go with that. Boate. The international sensation that is Boate is here in studio. You guys have
Spicy.
Yeah, you've got a big show coming out. It's coming up. It's on Friday, October 11th at the Black Cat in Washington, D.C. Some really great bands playing with you. Who's on the bill with you?
Yeah, it's they came from Missouri, and it's just three brothers who play excellent rock and roll music called Radkey.
Oh, so it's not Hanson. That's so.
Hey, Hanson brothers were trying to follow a similar dream.
I'm saying, why didn't you play with them? Huh? Do they still
I'll
play?
think about it.
How old are they?
I think I remember someone trying to talk about how they bought concert tickets like a year ago or something.
They're all like 40.
Yeah.
That's unfortunate when you're still growing. You have to buy a drum set each time you get a little taller. That's expensive. I'm just saying.
Total Recall still covers and bop at every show.
Nothing wrong with it. I'm just saying that's expensive while you're still growing. Shoes, you go through shoes, but
Yeah.
drum kits, oh my God. So you're playing with Hanson.
No, Keith, you just be like every other drummer who buys a kit that's way too big for them and just grow into it.
Is that how you do it?
See, that's the thing. My dad gave me this nice small Ludwig from the beginning, and I'm still playing it. And I was just like, I never got to make the stupid drum set decision.
Oh, the gigantic.
Well, I
like,
have my friend's stupid drum set decision in our practice space, which I bought.
Oh my God.
Because that thing will just never move
Yeah.
from that storage space.
That
It'll
was
just
the
be on
first
Storage
thing I
Wars.
said to Guido. If this drum set moves, we're not gonna play.
where the band's over as soon as this drum set moves.
When I was setting it up, it was like looked way too metal, and he was like, "I don't know if we can be a band."
Yeah. You're like, this won't fit through the door. We don't know how to get it in here.
And then once Guido told me that he has a drum set that his dad gave him, I knew it. That drum set was something special. It's very special, that drum set.
Yeah, and it fits through doors. It doesn't need to be airlifted. That's really helpful for touring around.
Yeah.
Excellent. Well,
You can always tell what stage of evolution a drummer is at, because like the new guy, he's got his simple 5-piece,
Yeah.
and then the kid that's just starting to get good has the dual kick drums, 8 toms, 20 cymbals, takes 30 minutes to set up for his band set at a show, and then when they get more experience, they're right back down to a 5-piece, if not a 4-piece, because fuck, I ain't moving all this shit.
right. That's the 4-piece is when you know you've been doing it a while, right? Because you're like,
Yeah.
Always. 4-piece.
I've never hit that in my life. I don't
But
need
again, 5-piece in the storage unit, which I like.
Yeah, I've grown to like it now. Because we get to experiment stuff in there, and then Guido has to come back and play similar stuff in his old kit, and it gets him, really push him, to do something cooler. Nice. So that's really cool. And
I like that
really
kit, man. I love going back to it.
Yeah,
it's like my old steady.
That's
the bottom.
That's the one you cheat on with. So all right.
And sorry, the second band they're playing is Park Snakes, and
Park Snakes.
We're very excited for.
Are they from this area? Where's Park Snakes?
Yeah, I think they're from DC, but I'm not really sure where each individual are from, which doesn't really matter. But yeah, they're from DC. I like to say. Yeah.
Are you trying to quietly open a beer? Is that?
I'm just
that's Guido move.
We talked so much about Park Snakes earlier, and I just want to do it justice again because we're really excited about playing with them.
Nice.
I didn't want to crack a beer during that.
I think that they'd appreciate it.
Their music is fucking awesome.
Yeah,
it's their
and Radke too. Yeah, so.
Last year's album was really good.
Yeah. So you can check them all out on Friday, October 11th at the Black Cat in Washington D.C. We also have a track of yours called "Question in My Head," right? And that's from the album Loud and Bold, which came out in July of this year. So still pretty new album. This is the last track on that album. Where can people go to grab that?
You could go check it out at boaytband.com or boayt.bandcamp.com or other digital services that you like, and anywhere.
So iTunes, anything where you would get digital music, you can get this album at.
It's really easy.
And all the physical copies and stickers are free at any of the shows, So
if you go to the show on October 11th, Friday, October 11th at the Black Cat in Washington,
you get free physical copies.
You would get a CD.
Yeah, and there's a donation jar or box, and if you like, you
feel it's worth.
Yeah, generous enough. We don't ask for money, but if you feel like doing something, because it takes a lot of time for people to come out and invest money, come see your show. You're spending money on drinks, That's true. We want to make sure to make, local people feel like we really fucking care that you are here.
Yeah.
So you make sure you take a fucking CD.
Well, so if you want some music or you want to connect with Boayt the band, or you want to get new releases when those come out or check out concerts beyond the 11th, go up to boaytband.com. So BOAYT band.com. And obviously become friends with these people. To go up on Facebook and like them and go to Twitter and follow them and do all the things that you do.
We promise we don't bite.
And if you want them to bite, they will bite. Right? You go either direction. You try to please.
Some people have been hit in the head by guitars, so it's kind of a bite.
Well, the guy was
in the
saying,
$15
throw me the
an
guitar.
Room.
I was like, you know what? It's okay.
An hour. Right.
He deserved it.
What's that, Adam?
I tried to make a dumb joke and then my words got mixed up, so don't worry about it.
Well, at least you're honest. That's good. All right, so we talked a little bit about fantasy football because that's coming out right now in this time frame, right? With football is kind of in full swings. They did drafts and everything. I got to be honest. I'm incredibly disappointed by fantasy football because I know some people who have done fantasy football and they did their drafts and everything, and they all get in a room. And inherently, somebody has the first pick, right? And they'll pick Tom Brady or something, and then you'll pick receivers and
where to start with this guy.
This is all Guido.
And then it'll be running backs and all this stuff. And the thing that really disappoints me is that no one ever goes outside that bounds. This is fantasy football. If you're the number one overall pick first, Dragon, right? You should, because they're gonna kick ass, right? Unicorns probably at least in the second round, right? You don't think?
I was really disappointed to find out that it didn't have anything to do with fantasies involving light bondage and bechamel sauce.
See, that would be at least in the fourth round, and that never happens. It's always I'm gonna get Tampa Bay's defense.
Bechamel might have to be first round, but I mean, have you been to Roadside Grill and had Diablo mac and cheese? They got bechamel.
Yeah, It's a mother sauce. I mean, it's well worth it. What do you think? What would you add to your fantasy football team if you could just add anything?
No, that's exactly what I want. I was like, Lamar Jackson's going to be a beast, and he's a beast, and
so you just went with a football player. See, you're thinking out. You need to think outside the box, man.
You had it all wrong from the beginning. You're talking about this draft in an order, no one that enjoys this does that anymore. You can much more enjoyable draft with the auction, and forget having a budget to that auction. You can just any amount you bid for your fantasy football player. That's just money in the pot, and every week you have to bid on players off the waiver wire, and that all just goes up, and it's like pays out weekly.
So you're like, I put my car in.
I mean, this most expensive team was like $1,600, so kind of a car, yeah.
Oh God, that's a lot of money to put towards it. All right, that is different. So yeah, I would, no matter.
This is the fantasy football league that John Curry runs from Total Recall.
Oh, okay. So they came in here once before. How much did the dragon go for? I feel like that would be a pretty high one.
I mean, you think so, but when they keep roasting the other players, you got to take in a negative.
That's true.
Because now you're paying
how
out
much
all
burdening
those
the countryside
death
you really need to be doing here. Like
defense, right? A lot of people will pick like a good defense. They'll be like the Bears or somebody like that. I would be like Patriot Missiles. Way better defense, right?
I pick Cerberus.
Cerberus.
Because he's only going to eat the people that try to get past him.
Right. See? That if you pick Cerberus, you don't have to worry about the other guy getting any points, right? Because you have Cerberus.
What about you? When you think fantasy, what do you think?
Well, I would pick Iggy Pop.
Yeah.
Henry Rollins.
Why wouldn't you put them on your teams? That's going to be a fucking awesome team.
All the bands from Fort Reno.
Band fantasy.
I would definitely pick Amanda.
Which Amanda?
From Fort Reno.
Okay.
Yeah, all the Fort Reno kids I would pick for that. So
anyone from Fort Reno.
Yeah, definitely.
Okay. That's good. So
absolutely.
So essentially it's just going to be the Fort Reno team. Do you feel like you'd come in first?
I think we would come in. Doesn't really matter when we come in, but we would be there for 50 years or maybe more.
I feel like your seasons are longer than our seasons.
Yeah.
But yeah, okay. So Fort Reno team, what's the name of your team? Guido, what's the name of your team? You don't know?
I don't that those names are lame. Like it's not
it's just the Guido football team?
My team sounds great, right?
Yeah, I mean your team is definitely beating Guido's team right now.
I'm sorry, man. You're going down.
Yeah, what's my fantasy team name?
Yeah. You just called it the Guido football players?
Yeah, I mean, I got nothing special for you there.
No? You're supposed to have like a pun in it or something.
So I'm a winner
right?
then.
Yeah, no, you're absolutely the winner. No, Casey wins.
No, I don't win, but Fort Reno wins.
Definitely the dark horse in that competition, but yeah, you pulled it out. I had no idea. So yeah, do you feel like your team's going to do well, Guido?
I'm just enjoying the process, man. I like watching some football. It's guilty pleasure, man. I can't help it.
You don't hear people say that a lot about sports, where it's about the journey. It's really like if you won.
It's like it's like the season. Like it's just nights outside.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
it's all going on. Fair. It's just like.
But you would like people to go inside on Friday, October 11th, right? Because they should go into the Black Cat. Check you guys out down in Washington, D.C. Once again, new album, Loud and Bold, came out in July. We've got Question in My Head. We'll have a little track of that a little later on, like a sample of it. If you want to fast forward to the 1 hour mark of this show, you can listen to it in its entirety. Go up to boatband.com or boatband.com.
Or boaytband.com.
Yeah, either way, any of those. All of those go to the same place. To find out more about the band, to get more music, and to check out further concerts that they'll be having throughout the year. So let's move on now that we've gotten through all of our fantasies, and let's go through another fantasy where we're actually going to draft you guys as our number one overall pick for editor-in-chief of a brand new publication.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
And so we're gonna pitch you some stories that we found around the internet, and you're gonna let us know whether or not they make it into your publication. This is what we like to call the weather report. So Adam, get us started off with this.
It's a competition. We're trying to get us.
It's friendly. It's a friendly.
No. It's vicious. You guys want to win, and you're lying if you say otherwise.
I don't want to win. I just do it so naturally.
Yeah, no, it's just because
really just him that wants to win.
Well, I give it to him because he doesn't win at anything else. So
valid.
But yeah,
the Ontario government lost $42 million selling cannabis in the last year.
What?
So eagle-eared listeners may remember, I think it was around this time last year when they legalized selling weed in Canada. but were very quickly faced with supply issues because they just ran out because we made the whole comments about they like, oh, we did a poll of people that said they would want pot, and those numbers were really low. We were like, no shit, because not everyone's going to admit to it. So now it's a case of they got over that hurdle.
Okay.
And they made a big deal about how they made $64 million in revenues from selling cannabis. Until somebody pointed out that they had spent $106 million trying to get over all of those hurdles they had at the start.
Oh, okay.
And I'm just thinking, I'm sure like if there's one way to like solve the whole, but if we're going to legalize cannabis, you got to release the people in prison sort of argument that some people have. Here's the solution. They have the supply chains. They know how to run this shit. They could have helped out here.
That's true. You could have at least tapped them for some advice.
I mean, like in every cop show, there's always like the kid that was a hacker that now works for the government after they caught him.
Yeah.
Same system. Just do the same thing.
That makes sense to me. And also, if you thought that when you were estimating how many people were going to want pot, you could have probably, instead of doing some type of survey, if you just asked any one of those people, do other people want pot? Then you would have known, yeah, there's a lot more people than we're expecting. So
I'm really disappointed, like that. They were trying to run, like they were clearly had a successful business model and found a way to lose money. Like they're going to be stupid drug dealers everywhere or stupid business people everywhere.
Yeah,
and as I would like to remove the pot element from the story and just be like, look at these people who like screwed up the easiest business to run ever.
No, literally what they've done is they've lost money in a business that a 14-year-old can make money at. Which is amazing, right? I mean,
to say the kid that dropped out of high school can run a pot selling business.
No education, no anything. Boom. Thousands of dollars a week, no problem. Not even really trying that hard.
It sounds like a lot of old people who were running that, trying to run that business, didn't know what they were doing. And all they had to do is just
$20,000 bud tender camp.
Just ask. That's all they had to do.
You know what's probably the issue here? I bet there's just a lot of it that disappeared. They were like, we had another room full of pot here. Where did that go? And they were
we were going to sell it.
I don't know.
I was going to sell this weed. Then I got on.
Yeah. They're like, I don't know where it went. Yeah. It's weird. It was there just yesterday. So is it news?
Oh, hell yeah.
Yeah? This makes it into your publication?
Yeah, sure.
All right. Excellent. All right. Moving on. Economists have calculated the monetary value of thoughts and prayers. That is right. They now know how much, when somebody says thoughts and prayers, about how much that's worth. So prayers from a priest apparently are worth about $7.17 to the average Christian in need. Prayers from a less exalted Christians were valued at like $4.36, while mere thoughts from another Christian were only $3.27. Researchers used statistical models to estimate prices people would pay above the $5 that they had. So what they did is they gave people $5, right? And they said, what would you give of that $5? You have a problem that you need solved, right? You have cancer, or you can't find your remote, or anything in between those two things, because that's a pretty wide swath. If you have $5, right, and a priest would pray for you, how much would that be worth to you, right? How much would you give them? Or if it's just a dude that goes to your church and he says, I will definitely, I'll pray for you.
Where is this?
Yeah, the money's going away to whoever. Like, it doesn't matter at that point.
Which is interesting, because I think if you spend enough on thoughts and prayers, you might have been able to solve the problem with the money you spent on thoughts and prayers. But now we know the cost around it. So somewhere between like $3.25 to like $7 and change. So there's something to keep in mind. Now we know how much thoughts and prayers are worth. So you seem like you have questions.
I just, I don't know. I just didn't think that's where this was going.
What do you
feel
mean?
like when you say we're starting off with thoughts and prayers, I was all like geared up for like, some kind of like gun situation, and then it like changed to like priests versus regular Christians, and
no, definitely want, if you're going to invest in priest thoughts and prayers, way more return on value. So if you have a priest that you might be able to kind of like rent out some thoughts and prayers.
I get it.
It's a good band.
They're good.
I really like the band, The Priest.
Equity, it's where the prayers belong.
I'm just saying they invented them. So
solid at some prayers.
If you're going to go to the prayer OG, you're probably going to go hit up some priests, right? So no, I understand, because you don't want a counterfeit thought or prayer, right? That's not worth as much.
That's the whole concept, is that like everyone's thoughts and prayers like matter. Like that's
but not as much.
Fair.
Yeah.
That's the point of the story.
Yeah. Some people's thoughts and prayers are worth like
less. Yeah.
Almost half of other people's thoughts and prayers.
Yeah.
So is it news?
No news for me. This is not news for me.
I don't like the way the game was set up.
Yeah.
Like,
it's not a game as much as it is a study, but I see what you're saying. All right. Moving on.
Pen testers nabbed, jailed in Iowa courthouse break-in attempt. So, Keith, you might be somewhat familiar with this, working with computers and IT like you do.
I do sometimes.
Every once in a while, you or your company may hire someone whose job it is to try to break whatever it is you've made, or try to hack into whatever it is you've made.
That's my job.
To find that is what you do, right?
Well, no, not really. I mean, I'm a developer, but I do a really good job breaking things. So
true. So okay,
it's a hobby.
So you're very familiar with this process.
Yeah, absolutely.
When people try to do it in real life, not behind a computer, it's called penetration testing.
Yeah, I do
not
that.
Not as dirty as you think, though it could be as dirty as you think, depending on the client.
Mm-hmm.
So the Iowa state government hired a company to test their security at various facilities, and when two guys who worked for that company decided to see how easy it was to break into the courthouse and access private records, they were caught. So, okay, you'd think, test over. It's not that easy. Except now there's complaints over whether the contract actually allowed them to break into a courthouse or not. So these guys have been in jail for like a week or two now while they try to figure out if the very vaguely worded contract actually allowed them to break into a courthouse.
So I need some vaguely worded contracts just hanging around so I can do things.
They're usually worded that vaguely on purpose. It's the way the lawyers want it, right? Like you need wiggle room after the fact.
How vague could you make that? Just like, so the first party, can do stuff to things whenever.
I just don't. So, I mean, like they entered into the contract with the people that like are
penetrators
that are like ultimately the same party that's getting them in trouble because it's all the government.
Oh yeah,
so it said I'm trying to find the exact quote, but the screen keeps resetting. It said they were going to test it using quote unquote various physical means.
Yeah,
and then I also forgot to mention. It turns out that the Iowa officials who hired this company forgot to tell all the people that were going to be tested, so they had no idea that this could be happening.
Well, there's a shady inside job part of this story that no one has figured out yet.
Right, this is Ocean's like 4.5. Less impressive Oceans, where they don't get away with it. So what happens is they're supposed to like break into the thing so that the company that hired them knows what they need to fix, so that people can't actually do it who are like evil,
malicious.
People. Yeah, malicious people.
And to go back to Keith's world, they're the white hats.
Yeah, and then they get caught, but now they're arrested because they think that the contract actually didn't allow them to do this thing.
Yeah, the security company's like, but it says so right here. And like, no, it's kind of vague, so I don't think we actually allowed you to do that.
So, I mean, like, you're spinning it to try to say these guys are all right. But, like, I mean, is there any reason to believe they didn't, like, go especially beyond what they were supposed to?
I mean, based on the very short article I'm reading here, I don't think so. But
I saw
again, it is not a comprehensive, court document here.
Pulling it up, I'm seeing that they are also suspected in stealing all of the pot from Canada. So they might not be as good as we thought they were. It sounds like maybe they had other nefarious motives. So is it news?
Yeah, I love it. I want to know more.
Yeah. It's a page turner. You have to find out more about it.
Good is curious. I'm into it.
All right, excellent. You've got their number every time. I don't understand it. Okay, so this one I liked a lot. Pittsburgh doctor claims that Antonio Brown repeatedly farted in his face and owes him $11,500.
I knew he was going to come up.
Yeah. $11,500. I don't know if this is damages. It sounds like maybe he didn't pay a bill, but he also farted in his doctor's face and laughed about it, which I feel like I would let him do to me if I got $11,000 out of it.
$11,000.
Yeah,
that's
Would you let Antonio Brown fart in your face and laugh about it for $11,500? Be honest.
$11,500.
Yeah.
I really don't want to say yes, but I could really use 11,000.
I'm not saying you're into it.
Yeah.
It's just $20 is $20.
We didn't say you had to like it.
Yeah. So it's not gay.
It's
okay.
So there is video I've seen of him farting in the presence of a doctor, but I don't believe the actual face farting is on video.
That I haven't seen any videos.
I have not seen any videos. So I
yeah.
don't know.
So, but then, apparently the $11,000 is also for fees that were owed. It wasn't directly related. He wasn't saying I was farted in the face.
There's starting to be a lot of stories where he didn't pay people necessarily that are coming out as part of this.
That seems to be a theme. Yeah. But yeah, so just in case you thought it was just damages, so that if somebody farts in your face, it's around a 10 grand damage. That's not true. I mean, I guess it depends if your mouth is open. Because then it probably, then it's probably 10 grand.
I mean, he was,
because you can taste
it. Living, a very promiscuous life. It sounds like.
And,
I don't.
He sounds like he could probably check his diet.
Farts could be,
maybe fiber or something he needs to look at. But yeah, so the question is it news?
I feel like I'm definitely telling the Antonio Brown story this week.
Something to read about to people, I guess.
Talk about it, unfortunately.
Yeah, he's a lunatic who is everywhere in the news right now. Yeah. So, yeah, I think if you're going to jump on that train, I'm just saying this is probably the lightest way you could jump on that train. There's a lot of darker stories, I feel like.
Yeah.
But yeah, so there you go. So it is news. How about you, Adam?
All right, so for the sake of time, we're going to jump into our lightning round. We're just going to throw headlines at you because we didn't read these nearly as much. We're going to try to keep this a little quicker.
Yeah, if you have questions, that's fine. We'll try to answer them. But you let us know how you feel about the story. What you got?
Priests air-bombed a Russian city with holy water to stop all the drinking and fornication.
Was it drinking of holy water? Because that's not going to work. It's going to make it worse.
I will note that the subtitle for this whole thing is "It did not work."
Surprise, surprise. Interesting note. A bomb of holy water goes in the 6th round of the fantasy football. Yeah.
The holy hand grenade.
It's pretty low down. Yeah, not a lot of people go for that.
I want to know to what scale this holy water was pumped. We had fire engine power. What are we working with here?
That's a good.
They're working out of something that looks like might have originally flown at Kitty Hawk, and they're just
buckets?
literally have gallons of water they're pouring into a chalice, and then he's just tossing it out the door.
Seems needlessly dangerous way to do this too.
Right.
The daredevil aspect is really ramping it up for me right now.
Yeah. I was hoping it was one of those 747s they used to fight fires in the woods.
Are they crop dusting them with holy water? What's happening here?
That would be awesome.
This thing is literally a biplane. And they just got him strapped into the doorway, and he's holding out a mug to one side to be filled with water. And he just throws
not
it
a
out.
cool enough delivery mechanism. Not news.
Sure, yeah. If you feel like, what would have been better for you? Would it if it was a space shuttle?
I need a crop dusting. I need something crop dusting or better.
Crop dusting. Wait, what's better than crop dusting? Because that was the previous story.
I like the idea of what if you got weird weather balloons that popped and you had little cells, or what if you somehow forced the rain to be holy water?
You blessed the
bless the rains down in this story.
Yeah, this wasn't in Africa. This was in Russia. So that was the problem.
Yeah. They just bless it into vodka.
Yeah. All right. So not news. That didn't make it in.
I am surprised.
Fire sparks mass explosion of semen at cattle breeding center. Festive.
Crop dusting?
It's an explosion of semen. That feels like it's higher than crop dusting. I'm just saying. No? There was a fire that caused an explosion because there were cryogenic cylinders containing cattle semen.
That's
well,
sad.
and so
there was cylinders. I was about to say fires causing explosions of semen. Don't you dare kink shame me.
So yeah, there's 100 cryogenic cylinders containing cattle semen. And because if you heat up cryogenic containers quickly, they just become bombs. And so just semen everywhere.
But the whole way we do that agricultural business is really suspect. So maybe for the best.
Yeah, see, this is for the best. That's why it's a good news article, right? We're saying we're heading in the right direction. Instead of doing this big
what if it was
farm
like some
stuff,
Chick-fil-A cows that like orchestrated the whole thing?
right? And they were like, it's like their 4th of July. And then like 9 months from there, it's a totally different holiday. All right. So is it news?
Well, I think we just saved it. I could picturing the Chick-fil-A cows like doing the operation like very 007, like
just with like Flint, and they're doing the spark with the Flint and the steel. Shh, come on, they're coming. Yeah. All right, so that one's in. They're going.
All right, this is once again where I piss off Keith by putting one of these in the lightning round.
Yeah.
Man brought an emotional support clown to a meeting where he knew he would be fired. Clown blew up balloons and folded them into animals throughout, and then mimed crying when the man was handed his pink slip.
That's like a sarcastic clown. That's not supportive. He's like, "Oh, are you gonna cry about it?" Oh,
I mean, if I was that guy, I'd be pretty emotional supportive to me.
We could do news. Why not?
I mean, I do have a thought on this. I think the whole thing is like some like stupid Instagram stage thing. That's like the whole thing is described as fake. Get it out.
Did after he was handed the pink slip and let go from the company, was he allowed to bang the clown? That's because that would be supportive. I'm just saying.
You're gonna need to spice up the story, is what we're saying, if you want to get anywhere near this newspaper.
Did it make us like that squeaky noise sound the whole time?
Oh God. Nope. Get out. I'm trying to, because again, we did not read these as carefully as the others.
That's true. All right,
but yeah, I don't know why.
This is a real thing that happened. It's all caught on security camera. This is a real thing that happened.
We think
in Auckland. All
right, so is it in? Is it news? Did we decide? Not news. Oh my goodness, this might be an upset. Man who tried to fight a grizzly bear in Banff National Park is fined $4,000. Did you know that?
They fined the bear?
No, the bear.
Good. I think that was the best question in the show. So
yeah, that's true.
I love it.
No, the bear's the one who's finding him. So, but yeah, so $4,000. You're not allowed to fight bears.
I have a question. No. What was he wearing? Was he wearing fighting suits, or what's going on in this news?
He was wearing another bear outfit.
Okay, I felt like he was wearing some kind of like.
Is this for the gram too?
No, he did. According to this picture that I'm seeing, he was wearing jeans, but it does look like he took his shirt off, which is a bold choice to make when you're fighting a bear.
And now they want to go after this. So this guy boxed a grizzly bear in jeans and no shirt and survived, and they now want to make this man an enemy of the state.
Was this summer? Okay. Was this winter? What was this going on?
Have they not seen Rambo: First Blood?
Yeah. No, he took his shirt off. My theory is that he was like, this shirt's not going to do anything. So,
you guys.
And I like this shirt, so if I survive, I'm going to want it back.
No, what happened is Devin Masuing, he's 35, got out of his truck shirtless and began shouting at a young grizzly while in a boxing stance, quote unquote boxing stance, before charging it, according to eyewitness incidents. So he was not attacked by the bear. He charged the bear, and the bear was...
Wait, young grizzly, are we talking like a cub? Was this guy just punching children?
Yeah, no, so it doesn't
Instigator.
look like... It doesn't look like he actually like hit the bear. My guess is this is proof. So this is, I think, proof of.
It was just he wanted to like. Hey.
This is more proof that if you're ever in a fight, right? If you have somebody bigger than you who wants to fight you,
just take off your shirt.
Just act fucking crazy because they will back down every single time because nothing beats crazy. Doesn't matter how strong you are. Ooh. If somebody's like, I'm going to kick your fucking ass and you just strip down naked and you go, let's fucking cuddle, man. That's good. That guy's going to be like, I'm good, actually.
That's what you have to do.
Yeah.
Well, there's this story that I was reading, I think it was a few weeks ago about actually bear. Yeah. And, if you think you sense some kind of danger, you're not supposed to sit there and quietly and if you see a bear, you're supposed to make a lot of noises because that will redirect the bear into going somewhere else because the bear can have a strong smell, like sense of smell.
Yeah.
So they can smell you from miles away. So if you see one, you got to scream your lungs out.
I think it's for black bears mainly. I think grizzly bears, you just have to pray because I think that they just eat you.
I mean,
especially if it's like
if they're hungry, I'm sure they will eat you.
Yeah, they'll just eat you.
Yeah. The full-grown grizzly might as well box it because you're still going to die. You might as well have a man.
Take a shirt off and shout and
so does
then
this not
stand
remind
in the
you guys of that video of the guy with the kangaroo? He's like the kangaroo's messing with his dog.
Yeah.
And then he just sizes up the kangaroo and punches it.
No, I didn't see this one. What happened?
This is old.
No, I'm pretty sure we did. I'm pretty sure we sent it up in the weather report a year or two back.
Which one is this?
We could probably do a better job of not all talking at the same time.
Yeah.
Just so that people can listen to this.
Getting a little out of control.
Yeah, I'm just saying that if you're hearing like 4 voices in one ear and 2 voices in another ear, then you're probably like, this is a fucking stupid podcast. I'm going to go listen to something else. But so what's this with the kangaroo?
I mean, it's old news. I can't believe you guys haven't seen it, so move on.
Okay. Go check it out.
I'm pretty sure it was in the weather report a year or two back.
Was it? Okay.
It was either me or Victor that did this one.
I've forgotten about it.
Throwback.
Because I didn't care. Go check that episode out and you'll hear about the boxing kangaroo dude. In the meantime, the real question is this guy getting fined news?
I think I would like to put him in the news, but
he didn't punch the bear though.
He didn't punch the bear.
No,
right? He just took his shirt off and started yelling.
He just tough guy, Mr. Tough Guy,
Mr.
the bear.
Tough Guy, the bear. Yeah,
when he went home, he did masturbate and he did call it punching the bear. So it's similar. Yeah, it's pretty much the same thing.
You just got fired from my newspaper.
Yeah, I think
no!
I think.
Where's my fucking clown?
I think he got fired. Yeah.
I want some balloon animals. God damn it!
Keith, I'm pretty sure Where's My Fucking Clown's going to be our next punk album.
Yeah.
Our next band.
Or could be a song.
New podcast called Where's My Fucking Clown. All right, so not news is what you're saying.
Yeah, I guess.
Sounds like we may have tied for this week. I feel like...
Yep, and the engineer always wins ties.
All right, that's fair enough. That's... God damn it. Why do you win all of the time? Why do you have to win every single goddamn time? I quit. Get me a clown.
Because I'm prettier.
All right, so in studio we have Boy Toy. I don't know how to say it.
Boy Toy, I like that one.
But you can go up to their website at boaytband.com. Friday, October 11th, they're playing the Black Cat in Washington, D.C., and we have an exclusive track of theirs.
Yeah. With Ratke and Park Snakes.
Yeah, and you can only hear this track on our show and anywhere else on the internet. So it's an exclusive, exclusively on the internet.
Yeah.
And in person, if you go to the show, you could hear it there as well. And probably if you put it just in a stereo, you could play it there. And honestly, if radios were to play, you know what? It's not really exclusive, but it's a pretty good track anyway. It's called Question in My Head. It's from the album Loud and Bold, which came out in July. So
recorded at the Magpie Caves.
Excellent. So where is that?
In Baltimore.
Up in Baltimore.
J. Robbins studio.
And you were saying that you did this over just a weekend. This entire album.
3 days, yeah. Mixing included.
Wow. And so how long were those days? What was that like, just doing music all weekend, and that was the only thing that you were focused on?
Fucking amazing.
Yeah?
Yeah.
The studio was amazing.
It was a magical weekend.
When did you wake up early and stay up late?
Yeah,
did you
we
sleep in?
Jay Robbins was practicing for the upcoming Jawbugs tour in the morning.
Okay.
And then we were like, making him start work again, like in the afternoon. Then,
and then you guys stayed at like
tireless.
A bread and
incredible.
Bed and breakfast up in Baltimore. Is that, or was that part of the studio? Is that?
Yeah, we got because our compadre Aaron, who couldn't be here tonight, is he's not feeling well.
He's sick, man.
Yeah.
That sucks.
But anyway, he like knew a cool neighborhood to be in, and he like took us to like a cool record store in Baltimore, and
nice,
and like a cool bar that was like playing like "The Man in Me" by Bob Dylan. When I walked in, it was all hazy. It was like I got to like enter the Big Lebowski at this bar, and I had a great weekend. It was a magical weekend.
Yeah. And you said that this particular track's pretty notable, right? Because is this the one that you said that there's a solo on?
Yeah, with Jay. Yeah,
Jay
plays solo on that one. Yeah,
and so for people who don't know,
he
Jay,
came up with the solo part in 15 minutes.
That's wild.
Yeah, that's fucking
wild. We
wild.
really put him on the spot. It was like really generous of him to do it.
Like,
and for those that don't know, he's the front man for Jawbox, right? And so you have him as a guest musician on this track.
Yeah.
What inspired this tune? What was your inspiration for the track itself?
Oh, for the song?
Yeah.
I don't really know. It
just happened.
It just happened, and
just the muse hit you, and it was like, here's a song.
And then Guido, came up with the drum part, of course, because he's a fucking amazing drummer.
Yeah, nice.
And then Aaron, he usually is a person who will tell us like, okay, that part is we could do better, or this part or that.
He really pushed you to like improve.
and he comes up with really cool stuff, and sometimes it distracts me or Guido because he's playing really cool, and I have to tell him like, can we play a really basic for now, because me and Guido want
cool,
to and
I just want to listen to that,
and me and Guido has to like, we are trying to learn that part first, because but Aaron is just boom comes up with like, do you not agree with that?
He's an incredible bassist.
Yeah, so
wow.
the sound he makes with the bass is like he's like it's
crazy,
so precise
man.
with it, and it's like so good with what we're doing. So I'm happy when I'm hearing it.
That's awesome. Well, let's take a listen to this track. We're do a short clip now, but if you want to hear the whole track, fast forward to the 1 hour mark of this show, and you can listen to "Question in My Head." This is a track from Loud and Bold, which came out in July from Bo8. This is called "Question in My Head." I love it. How would you describe this music? If somebody were to look it up, do you think of yourself as like punk, post-hardcore? What do you call this? What we call the band? We don't went for the strong opening this time.
I like that.
The type of music that you play.
We like punk music. We like rock and roll music. We like blues music. We like all kinds of music. But punk is the closest thing that we.
So it's like a punk band that has a lot of other influences that come in from.
Yeah, but we are a punk band, and we're not gonna,
Which means you're gonna put on a killer show, because that's what punk bands do, right?
We try.
So live, you'll be able to check them out Friday, October 11th at the Black Cat in Washington, D.C. Again, go up to boaytband.com to go find out more about that show, more about their music, get their album, get the next album, see their next show.
Oh, thank you.
Do all of the things and get connected to them on social media. Now we're going to move on to something that has been a challenge. Guido, I don't know that you've won this yet, right? Have you?
I'm the one who made you guys do one about Pokemon Go. That was like my legacy of absolute the worst I left for you guys.
All right. So
but yeah, I can't get any of these questions right. I'm really bad at it. So kind of try to help me, Casey.
All right.
Yeah. So This time you get another shot at it. 6 questions. You just have to get one right. Now, keep in mind, at the end, we're going to need a new category for you to pass on to the next guest for them to try this. Our last guest was Ben Tufts. Do you know Ben Tufts?
Yeah,
he's a nice guy. Yeah,
great.
He's
cool drummer.
Of course, I know Ben Tufts. He's probably played with them.
Yeah, that's true.
He's a great drummer.
He's played with everyone. So, he's playing Saturday, September 28th at Jam and Java in Vienna, Virginia. He's doing a benefit for the Craig Tufts Educational Scholarship Fund.
As heard on TV.
As heard on TV. Yeah, exactly. So if you do not like this category, go up to Jam and Java on September 28th and just yell at him. Just say, how dare you?
I mean, songs from TV shows has got to be sing-alongs. Like, that's like what's going to be going on.
Absolutely. So are you ready for your category?
Yeah. Sure.
Yeah.
Hit me.
It is pickling. How do you feel? Just be honest. How are you feeling? From your face, it doesn't seem good. You look like you're eating a pickle right now.
I do like pickles.
You do? Okay, that's good.
But it's like pickling.
I like
what are you
spice
pickling?
more than pickles. Pickles are good, but spice are better. I don't know.
Spice.
Like any spiced food, like when you.
What if it's a spiced pickle?
It depends. It has to be garlic. It has to be a lot of pickles. It depends.
So like a hot pickle, you're in. Hot garlic pickle.
I don't think I've had hot garlic pickle because.
Is that your new album name?
Yeah, we could definitely name a hot garlic pickle a new name, but no,
I feel like
really.
Not an album. It's definitely a new sex move.
Yeah, I feel like that's what Guido calls his member.
Yeah, I was like, this has to be me. Like, I have to be the thing we're talking about. Thank you.
Yeah, no, I appreciate it.
If I'm not the garlic whatever, then I failed as being a Guido.
Oh, I forgot your stinger, by the way. So Adam really likes this. Here you go, Adam. He's dancing.
Yeah, I can see his wrist.
This works on the stream.
I am on board with this.
We're streaming, by the way, if you're listening to the podcast. We don't know if we're ever going to do this again, but right now we're live streaming. So hello to all the people who are watching the live stream. You crazy
It's good. You should do this more often.
Yeah, I think it's kind of fun. So that was something he wrote. He's very happy about it. It's not good.
Also something I recorded very quickly.
That's true.
Good work.
So how would you get us started off, Adam? What do you have for them?
Pickling can use a combination of antimicrobial spices, vinegars, salts, and other ingredients to complete the process.
Hot garlic.
But a key factor is a high acidity to the solution so as to kill off most of the bacteria. Typically, what pH or lower is needed to safely pickle something?
Oh,
so
man.
I am a chemical engineer.
Well, excellent. Look at this.
So obviously a pH of 7 is neutral, and anything higher than that would be alkaline. But we need to get acidic.
Yeah.
And so like a 1 pH would like literally like burn your face off.
Okay.
So I'm thinking like somewhere in the 3 to 4 range. Do I get like how close do I have to get?
I'll give you within a couple decimal points.
How about the closest half?
Half. I got to get within
without
going over.
Yeah, without going over.
Sure.
Pick a number between 3 and 5.
Well, I would 4.5.
All right,
I guess.
We'll give a 4.
4. Ooh, just outside the half. It's 4.6.
Oh, just missed it. Oh my goodness.
I let Guido down here.
4.6.
I should have known.
4.5.
I should have been able to get closer.
I think I said 4.
He said 4.5, but I said 4.
It's okay.
You shouldn't let him speak for you.
So he wins. I lose.
We're gonna fight right now.
Yeah, you should fight him. All right. Next question. Can you name the monarch depicted in sculpture, painting, and even film who attributed her renowned beauty to consuming pickles? Historical monarch.
Why is there a pickle again?
The answer to this question is clearly Snooki.
That is so right. But it is not the answer to this question.
It's Cleopatra.
It is Cleopatra.
I told you, history matters.
Oh my God!
He finally got one right.
Nice.
That's like the fourth time he's been on the show.
Are we the first one? Are we the first one to
Cleopatra
get
wasn't that
Okay.
hot. She just was like smart.
Yeah. That is. So did you actually know that? Did you actually hear that somewhere?
I think I was watching a YouTube channel called Overly Sarcastic, and they do like a bunch of history crap, and I definitely talk about the pickles, I think.
Oh, all right. Excellent.
Pickle.
Not the first one to ever get one right, but this is the first time Guido's ever gotten one right. So we've broken the streak already. Excellent. This is all icing. We're gonna keep going, but you've already got one.
You understand? Like, are you gonna get another one now?
The first one's free. Let's go. All right, Adam.
The exact origins of pickling are unknown, but some believe it may have begun in the area of Mohenjo-Daro, I probably pronounced that very wrong, in the northwest of the Indian subcontinent around what year?
Oh, man.
Yeah, what time period did it start?
Does it have to be like exact time period? That we...
I mean,
I'll give you a little wiggle room.
Yeah.
You're going to get like 50 years. I think they're going to give us.
I'll give you 100 years.
Yeah, maybe
100 years?
Yeah. Within 100
I'll give you
years.
100 years either side.
It's going to be like
I feel like
a long ass time ago, man.
They're not going to give it.
like 1800 something.
It's going to be like 5,000 BC.
No. I feel like it was 1800 something because that's when India had a lot of British invading going on. So
he's going to answer this question.
Okay.
I might be wrong, but I feel like it was around that time. But
so give him a year.
What are you going with?
1800. I don't know, 60 something or 50 something.
50 or 60 something.
Okay.
Guido was closer, 2400 BC.
Oh man.
Yeah, way earlier.
People have
Way
been eating
back.
food like for a while.
Since pretty much the beginning.
Wait, but there, he talks about pickling, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's when they invented it.
Yeah. Okay, because there was around that time there was a lot of food like stuff invented around that time.
Yeah. But
So-
pickling was a long time before
Yeah.
that, apparently. So
Like we're like, how like different were we like that long time? Was it still very people?
I'm guessing
That's
the
not
pickles
like-
were also very different back then.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm not sure what people were like. If you know what people were like in 2400 BC, write us at contact@anotherwastedhour.com and let us know, and then we'll answer next week what people looked like back then. All right, so next up, let's see. In September 2000, a little more recent, this might give you a better chance. In September of 2000, what football team credited their thrashing of the Dallas Cowboys to drinking immense quantities of cold pickle juice?
This is Guido, not me.
Yeah, this is all me.
This is football, your fantasy football. You should have drafted
Yeah.
pickle
Guido,
juice.
you better get this right.
2000 beat the Cowboys, drank pickle juice.
Yep, September
This-
2000.
Is the Vikings.
No! The Philadelphia Eagles.
Sure. That makes a lot more sense.
Because
Right?
they're green.
Where's Aaron, man?
Yeah, of course it is.
Yeah, Aaron's from Philadelphia, so he's like all
Yeah, he
Flyers,
should have fucking...
Eagles, Phillies.
All right, Adam, what's next?
This popular pickled product is usually made from pickled Napa cabbage and radish, but is also made with green onions, garlic stems, chives, and a host of other vegetables, and is a staple of certain East Asian cuisines.
So are we supposed to say what it is called?
What is this? What is this
Motherfuckers talk about
thing?
kimchi.
What is this food I'm talking
I think
about?
it's kimchi, but I
Kimchi.
might be wrong.
It is kimchi.
Yeah, you got it.
I got it right.
Yeah, you got one. Look at that.
I was
Guido,